Look, so we are warming up. We're going to get straight into it today. As again, we want to bring you as much we can of training camp. We know you've been sitting at home. You're waiting to be able to see how this team is coming together under the leadership of head coach Ron Rivera. We're going to start, though, talking about some of the greatest in the game. And ESPN, Bill Barnell, put out an article talking about players that are a lock for the Hall of Fame. Yes, we're already going ahead and predicting who on the roster may be one of those guys. And obviously, for the Washington football team, got myself there, it would be Adrian Peterson. I don't think anybody out there is going to argue against that AD, AP, whichever you want to call him, when he is first available, will be able to go up there. But it might be a while because he says he wants to keep playing. He by no means does he say he wants to retire after the season.
I mean, he's a deadlock. You know what? Fifth all time right now as the one of the top 5 leading rushers, 14,000 plus yards, and he's a guy that says he sees 3 or 4 more years on himself. So who knows? He's not trying to be a Hall of Famer no time soon. So just allow him to continue to add on more yardage, and you never know, man. His legacy is already stamped, and I think that he's going to be a deadlock.
You know, one of the things last season is we know there wasn't much to celebrate with just 3 wins, but I feel like every other game we kept saying how he was breaking another record, becoming the first, moving up the charts there. Of the active running backs, only Frank Gore is ahead of him, and he has the opportunity to be able to pass him this season should he get off on the right footing and be able to carry things out. Yeah. So look, I think there's no argument there. 100% he is a lock to go to the Hall of Fame. Also on the team you have Landon Collins, 10 to 39%, Chase Young, 10 to 39%. Many people saying when Chase Young came drafted in here that, look, that was kind of a given that he probably would go in. Like, he hasn't gotten there down. Yeah. They also put the Eagles, the Giants, the Cowboys have 3 players that they think are likely going in there.
Yeah, I mean, it's the Cowboys, man.
Yeah, we're not going to spend too much time on that.
Exactly.
But let's get back to Chase Young. Look, that is the hype, and we've even said it here on the show. That is the hype, that he is pretty much going to be a lock for the Hall of Fame. I mean, what he did at Ohio State, you can't argue against. And, you assume he's going to bring in those accolades, but do you think the Hall of Fame, putting that on him, is too much too early, too soon?
You know, it's crazy to even be sitting here talking about guys prematurely who's going to be Hall of Famers. When I was playing this game, man, it was Chad Johnson got ridiculed for putting on a Hall of Fame jacket as a celebration. Now we're giving these guys alleys and saying they're going to be Hall of Famers. But it's crazy to even be thinking about Chase Young as a Hall of Famer. He hasn't taken a snap yet in this league, but just knowing his star impact, he's the lottery pick of this draft. Easily could have been the #1 pick overall, and I understand why it's so much hype. It's great to have a talent like that on this team because I'm looking forward to what he can create for all the others. I think when you have a generational talent like that, he's going to make the team just that much better because of what he's going to bring to the field. He's going to seek your attention.
Yeah, he will. Again, he's a very dominating presence out here. He's not really hard to miss if you're actually able to get your eyes in on practice. But you look at what he did his last year at Ohio State, 16.5 sacks, 7 forced fumbled, 6 strip sacks, and you anticipate him even improving really, or being able to come in and take that and translate right away into there. They say he maybe didn't have as much technically sound fundamentals as maybe a Nick Bosa or Joey Bosa, but he has more athletic ability. So the coaches get their hands on him, then the potential, the ceiling is really high. And of course, many times we've heard him compared to Julius Peppers, which many say he should be automatically right in there. So barring anything, is there anything you think would keep him away from the Hall of Fame?
I mean, like anything, when it comes down to it, you just have to see this guy play the game. I don't expect nothing but the best from him. He's just that guy. He's one of those guys that just his walk alone tells you that he's going to be a star. And I'm just ready. Like I said before, I never get too ahead of things. I'm one of those guys that say show me first, but he's a guy that I can almost expect it out the gate. So I'm looking forward to what he brings. But Hall of Famer, let's just keep it at pump up brakes a little bit with that.
I kind of like, too, that he said, he didn't do anything at the combine. I think his tape spoke for himself when he was out there. He said, look, I'm not trying to be a combine player. I'm trying to be a football player, and that's what he's all about. Anytime you ask him anything, in the few times that I have interviewed him, he's like, look, I just want to get out there. I want to work. That's all he wants to do. It's the only thing he lives, eats, sleeps, breathes, and does. So by all means, look, maybe one day we are talking about him finally getting into the Hall of Fame when that day does come.